Hey, oh, look at that. Boom, that's better. Hey, it's Tuesday night. Guess what time it is?
Time for life.
Time for our live. Time for our Tuesday night live. How's everybody doing? Hope you had a great week. Let's see who's in the chat first. Well, it looks like Len and HG are the only two people here. I hope you guys are having a good week so far. Len says Sunday was good. Thank you very much, sir. I kind of I wish that I'd been able to present the first ones as well as I did the last few. But it's a learning experience and you grow into it. And hopefully going forward as I do more of these, the presentation will get slicker and it won't be as rough. So, but thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And honestly, I've been enjoying it. We were talking this weekend with some people, and like I said the other day, I'm having to really rethink a lot of my stances on things, and not because I was completely wrong. It's just my motivation and the reasoning behind it was off, and it's causing me to adjust. But if we're not growing, then what's the point, right? If we're not becoming better, what is the point? Well, and talk about getting better. We got some better this week, didn't we? We got some better chicks.
Oh yeah.
Tell them how many chicks we got.
Last count, I think we were at 18. Does that sound right?
That are alive.
That are alive.
Oh, they're alive. Okay. I don't. I
And
haven't.
more to come. Did you check it tonight?
Yeah, there's nobody in there.
Okay.
But we've got guineas and we've got several different breeds of chickens. Um, the rest of the flock, the Goldens that we got, and the Jersey Giants have been released from captivity, and they are roaming around free. And
The Jersey Giants, like he says, roaming around free. It's funny, like 3 feet from their coop. They won't go out in more than 3.
they were out pretty far today.
Were they?
This
So
evening.
they're getting used to it. But yeah, if you walk out there or a leaf falls or a nut falls from the tree, they all go running back into their coop.
Yeah.
It's like what is that? The sky is falling. So
Bubba
kind of funny.
Plum and Paul Robinson
Hey,
in the
hey.
house, everybody.
Oh, Dad, I know you're watching. So hello, and I love you, and hello, Linda, and I love you. And so your package shipped out today. You should get that the 17th
It said 17th or 18th.
or 18th. So
It's UPS, so it's going to be closer on time than the postal service.
oh, thank goodness. Good.
But yeah, so the chicks we're having good luck, not luck. Luck's not the right word. Good productivity out of the brooder or the incubator this time. The first one we lost how many eggs?
All
Like 80 eggs or something like
yeah, it was pretty ugly.
that. This
We
time,
lost geese eggs, duck eggs, and chicken eggs and guinea eggs.
but it's going pretty well. Plus, house turkey is sitting on eggs, and I couldn't find her for like 2 weeks. She kept disappearing, and I didn't know where she was holed up. And I finally, I went into the greenhouse for the first time in about a week and a half, and she's taken up residence in one of the grow beds. She's got about 12 eggs in there. She's sitting on them. I lost her this afternoon, though. Could not find her because she wasn't with the rest of the turkeys, and she was all the way down at the end of the paddock.
She had to eat.
Yeah.
Girls
Yeah,
gotta eat
there's nothing out there to eat.
bugs.
There's all kinds of stuff in like right around there. Anyway, found her. It's all good.
She's a turkey. Nothing makes sense.
She'll be able to get over the fence and get back on her nest.
And the weird part is that she's still keeping herself extremely well groomed.
Except for that last ring. That last ring we got.
Yeah, but she had herself cleaned up in like 5 minutes.
This is true. She was cleaned up before the wet was off the grass.
I'm sorry. I don't know what is wrong with that hen.
We had a warrant officer when I was in Okinawa that was kind of like that. We did mud volleyball, and she had mud on her feet. The rest of us are covered head to toe in mud, and she was barely muddy at all. In fact, it was so bad that I didn't do it. It's one of the guys on playing volleyball, picked her up and threw her into the mud, just because like, no, you can't be clean with the rest of us. All right, there's a picture out there in the shed someplace, me and another guy, and the only thing you can see is the whites of our eyeballs and our teeth. The
That's
rest of
funny.
it's muddy. And you can't even see his eyeballs because he's got
You
his
said
glasses
you're
on.
covering that. I can't see what you said.
Turkeys are kind of stupid.
Yeah, they are stupid.
They're not stupid. They're different. They're gifted.
Gifted is the right word.
But we've got one chick who I'm not sure if she's going to make it or not. She got stuck between the rollers in the incubator, and so she can't sit properly, and she flips over on her back all the time.
I look better. We need to probably put her down. Like, I hate to put her down because I think once her legs get longer, I think she can figure it out.
She's getting better.
But one is stiff. It's distended. So I don't want to put her out because
she's eating and she's drinking.
she is.
So, and she was a smaller chick to begin with.
Right.
So I say we let her go. We just watch her and make sure she's not flopped on her back.
She just like, it's awful. It's like,
yeah, but there's guineas in there that are
two
doing the same
little
thing.
legs up in the air.
There's guineas in there doing the same
That's
thing.
true.
So
That's
hopefully she'll grow out of it. It's not like she's starving or
That's true.
dehydrating.
No, she's getting fat. She's doing good.
So we'll keep an eye on her. Let's see what else we got. More we got materials to work on the second bedroom. I got to tell you guys, I got to figure out how to do a delivery bin or something. It wouldn't have worked for this because we got 5 things of flooring and a 72-inch by 80-inch door kit for the closet in there, and the gate was shut and they just left it out by the road, and it came at about 2:15, and I spent the entire afternoon. This was yesterday, as a matter of fact. I spent the entire afternoon at my desk while I was working with the cameras up on the phone, watching to see if anybody was still. There was like $700 worth of stuff sitting out by the road. You know, and then but you know they take small packages when the gate's closed. They just throw them down on the ground. So I'm trying to figure out how to make a waterproof or water resistant bin that they can put it in.
We almost need to get one of those tough sheds and put it out there. Try to figure out how to fix it to something so it doesn't walk off, and have that be the delivery.
I was
bin.
thinking one of the chests that they make, like.
Well, the flooring wouldn't have fit in there, and the doors wouldn't have fit in there. But if you did a garden shed, a small garden shed, that would fit in there.
I actually saw a video of somebody that built a wooden one.
Build a wooden one.
The delivery thing.
We'll price it out and see if it's cheaper to get them, because now they're getting ready to go on clearance. So price it out and see how much everything is.
But we got that done. The electrical was done. We did that Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, Darren came down. We did the electrical. I got to tell you guys that attic up there, it had to be 140 degrees in the middle of the day because it just kept getting hotter and hotter, and everything's metal, and so the heat transfers down all the metal, and no matter where I put my hand, I was touching something hot, and I could only spend like 15 minutes in there, and I had to come down and get some air because it was terrible. Luckily, I didn't have to be up there, and then I fell down there. So the insulation that they put in there in the 50s is a silica, like loose silica. It's like sand.
Yes.
Like, and I flopped down in it. I tripped and ended up face down in it, and I thought I was going to gag to death. It was terrible.
Okay, she said Amazon's got a 140-gallon one. Yeah, but still the flooring wouldn't have been in there.
Well,
the
the flooring may have, but the door. I don't think you could build anything big enough for the doors because those boxes are huge. I mean, they're 90 inches long. But I'll keep an eye on that one. I'll take a look and see if that one's worthwhile. See if we can fit it into the furniture.
Fuji,
The furniture.
Fuji. That's not furniture. That would be considered farm.
Would it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out if it works. Oh goodness, what else did we do? And it was really nice too, running the power. You know, we haven't had anything back there for so long. I actually got up Friday morning and walked in there. Now, mind you,
just to turn the lights on.
Mind you, there's cut wire on the floor. There's the cart, my tools. There's the box from the ceiling fan is laying on the floor. And I literally went in there at about 5:30 after I'd been up for a little bit. Went in there and flipped the light on just so I could watch the fan turn.
So 48 by 21 by 24.
Oh yeah, the flooring would have fit in there perfectly fine.
And they have up to at least 300 gallons.
I have to take a look at that. And it's the smaller packages that I worry about too.
Yeah, they're
Probably
so
more
easy to grab and run with.
That and it starts raining. Like I got the last shipment of books I got right before it started raining. Had I waited another couple hours,
Okay,
or
that's soaking wet.
yeah, it would have been ruined. And I got to tell you, Amazon or Kindle has not packaged the last couple of sets of books that we purchased well.
They're terrible.
They just throw them in a box loose, and I don't like that. But I got a quote from the people that helped me publish it because they, I don't know if we showed you the authors' books that we got.
They were nice.
Super nice. Nice is an understatement.
But they're expensive.
Yeah, they're $25 a pop just for us to get them. Mask up with the old installation. Yeah, Paul, it's been one of those weeks where I knew better on a couple of things. That was one of them.
If you could only see his eyeball.
Yeah, and then I crawled underneath the mower and was doing some work on it with a grinder and got some grit.
That could totally be done, HG. We have an old pickup out there. I just don't want that damn thing in the front of the house.
I was thinking the people down there's some people down the road that have an old 1950s, the curved nose Ford pickup trucks. They got one of those sitting out in their yard. Is their thing got their farm name painted on it?
I don't know.
But the one we have isn't really that cool. It's a
Datsun.
It's a 1981 Datsun B10 extended bed, which apparently
Makes a good trailer.
Well,
That's never going to happen.
Yeah, because I don't have anything to haul it around on.
Tell me you're a redneck, but that's wrong for me.
Then I got the four-wheelers running.
Oh, yeah. So
Carl,
I heard that you called Carl a name. You told him that he was poopy.
No, I told him the same thing I told Darren whenever he does that stuff to me.
And it only took him 10 minutes to fix. You told me it took him an hour. Jennifer was like, no, it was 10 minutes.
No, I was here. From the time he got here to the time it was done, because he had to run back over. He had to run and get a spark plug, and we talked, and he showed me.
Well, you were talking. He was showing you. It only took him 10 minutes to fix.
Well, it was an hour that he was working on.
Okay, you hold on to that.
Anyway, I was there. Jennifer wasn't. No, he did get it done quickly though. But it's running, and I'll be honest with you, it's running better than it has since we bought the thing. And and it's just the power of community, because Jennifer and Carl is local, and he actually knows
literally right down the road.
He knows
Our
neighbor Chris from growing up in the same area, and so, but he knew Rowdy Meyer because he lived down the road from him. And so they've kind of been on the edge of the circle for a while, and then they got more involved, and him and I started talking and found out that he did small engine repair, and he, so
yeah, his wife is the one that recommended my job to me. So yeah, they've been a blessing to know for sure.
Yeah, and it's good. It's good to know people like this in your community and cultivate these relationships, because he is a good mechanic. Mm-hmm. He's a very good mechanic. Now I don't think his knowledge base is as wide as Darren's is.
I wouldn't agree with that. So, because when we were talking about the Jennifer and I were talking about the lawnmower,
mm-hmm.
and Jennifer was like, "Well, because Carl can do that too."
Or I could do it.
Or, well, I'd rather you do it, but Carl can do it. So just know you've got backup there. If something's wrong.
What she's talking about, I was mowing on Saturday because I was dead tired. Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
It was Saturday. I was dead tired because I cut up 4 telephone poles to make posts for a lean-to, so I could park all the equipment under it, get it out of the rain. And some of the posts that I cut up were about 600 pounds.
Oh, were those for the lean-to?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were for fencing.
No, those are for the lean-to. But I was moving them. My skid loader's down, so I was having to figure out how to do them. I got one of the 600 pounders in the back of the pickup truck, and I was like, screw that. So I drug the last 3. But I was tired, so I was like, okay, I'm going to mow. It needs to be done. And I'm mowing, and the deck starts making a little bit of noise, but it's always made noise. And all of a sudden, it throws the belt, and I get it back on, and it throws it again in about 30 seconds. So I start inspecting it, and the bearings on one of the spindles. What?
Skanks, I was just waving at her.
Oh,
Dana's in here too. Hey.
but the bearings on one of the pulley spindles went out, so I have to buy a new spindle, and replace it. And it shouldn't take that long. I mean, the hardest part's going to be breaking all the rust off the bolts and stuff and getting it done. The actually once you get that done, the replacing part of it is dead simple. Seriously, it's just sliding it back in and bolting everything back together. But it's been, we were trying to figure out how old this thing is.
Dad would know.
Yeah, but it's anywhere from 12 to 15 years old, and the spindles have never been replaced. So,
Yeah, it's hardy. I hope that when we replace the parts that it's all good, that it's fine.
well, and both Darren and Carl said save the old spindle because we can take and get a press and put new bearings in it, and then we can replace one of the other ones. Beautiful. And get it rebuilt, and then have 3 rebuilt ones and a brand new one, 2 rebuilts, and a rebuilt sitting on the shelf.
Nice, beautiful.
Well. So
great idea.
No, you jinxed it. No, I don't think so. Soak everything in liquid ranch. I was going to go out and tonight I was going to go out and scrape everything with a wire brush and hit it with liquid wrench, and I've got this penetrating stuff that works way better than liquid wrench. But I couldn't do that because I got home, it was 95 degrees in the house because the air conditioner had froze up during the day.
It's only 80 degrees outside.
Yeah. Well, and then I had to heat the kitchen up because I forgot to pull the dog food out of the freezer, so I had to sous vide that and put it in hot water. And it's finally starting to cool off in here. It's finally starting to feel good. Is it?
Yeah, it's feeling better. It's getting cooler. That, or I have heat exhaustion and getting ready to have a stroke.
You're just used to it. No. But that's what's going on around here. Dolly and Freya have been working them really hard this week on working the animals.
She looks so good out there.
They're getting better. They still have their time. When they don't do what they're supposed to. They're trying to be nice about it. In fact, Freya, I let her off. I didn't put the lead on her tonight to begin with, and she lasted about 10 minutes before she had to go back on because she just decided that she was going to go chasing whenever she felt it was time.
Well, that's how she learns.
Yeah, but she does a good job.
Of course, she does that because she's territorial and she's like, you're not supposed to be there. And so that's what she's doing.
I know, but that's not the way she's supposed to be trained. That, and we've got this one goat who climbs the fence out by Blackie's cherry tree and drives me nuts because she's pushing the fence over, and she jumped over the fence the other day. And so every 3 minutes I'm yelling at the dogs, go get them off the fence. And they're running. It amazes me how fast Freya is.
Yeah.
I'll have to film her for you so you guys can see exactly how fast she is. But she jets over there, and then she doesn't want to come back. She wants to sit there and
protect the cherry tree.
She does it. no matter where I send her, she stays out there. She wants to be nose to nose with. There's a couple of sheep that are kind of what stubborn, and she'll stand there nose to nose with them. Just
Pouring it.
yeah, but we can't have her doing that. She can't have her doing that, and she still hasn't mastered what the difference between it in front and behind is.
She's got to get that behind because that's how she's going to get a move, not nose to nose.
Yeah,
She's going to get hurt nose to nose.
She gets no. I don't think she'll get hurt because she's faster.
She's supposed to be an ankle biter.
And she does. She got in trouble this morning because she was doing it through the fence when I was trying to feed her.
Oh,
Yeah, she doesn't ankle bite. She either nips their nose or she gets their haunches. But she's learning. She's learning. Fancy's still on timeout. I wish I could let her off the lead, but we just can't do that right now.
can't do that. She has to be babysat.
And then what happened on Saturday after I was frustrated with the mower?
You took a shower, and then we went over to the 250th Freedom Fest celebration, and we had two people that came out. We had met them and talked to them a little bit. Out in Colorado, we went and spoke at a festival out there, and they came out. They just happened to be at their cabin in Kansas and decided to come on out. So I was like, come on. It was great seeing them, Paul and George. And then, and then we had the private fireworks. 30% of them didn't go off, but it was okay. It was still beautiful. And so that's just more fireworks for next year. And so it was really nice, but got to see a lot of friends and visit and that kind of thing. So it was good.
I came home after about an hour and a half.
Yeah, we ate. Food was good.
It was okay.
I had to be selective with what I ate, but it worked out.
One of the reasons I left early is because it turned into a political rally. I guess the guy they were going to have speak, something happened, he couldn't show up, so they got some local people running for local office to come over.
For governor, lieutenant governor, Congress, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't want to.
The really weird part is that like at first I was like, but now I'm like really glad that I got to hear it because these were some names that I've heard thrown around, but I was like, yeah, just another, whatever, a politician, and you can't believe them. They talk out of both sides of their mouth, that kind of thing. If these guys really hold up to what they're saying, they could change things. But are they strong enough to not be bought? They're young. So are they strong enough to not be bought? Are they strong enough to hold each other accountable? They say they are. And so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But
Skane says, and thievery.
And thievery. Yeah. Keep them away from thievery.
I'm not sure what she's talking about.
Politicians probably. You turn management over to Angela. What?
And more naps for me.
Why does he
And
keep
thievery.
saying that?
Because I'm old and tired.
He says that everyone. He can't. No retirement yet. Oh. I had this little email come across, and I went ahead and I did it this morning. The little class to go on to get educated on it. I'm so excited.
What class?
So, we have to do continuing education and that kind of thing. But I went ahead and I went in to go check it out. And I now get company stock.
Good.
And so super exciting. After 3 years, I can take dividends, or I can just keep everything going.
Probably the biggest mistake we made whenever we moved out here was selling all our stock. But probably the biggest mistake we made, or one of the biggest mistakes. There were a lot of mistakes. Probably should have kept that because we had a pretty nice portfolio.
We weren't really sure where things were going with COVID and that kind of thing. Remember, that was a lot of it, and it was, let's get it into silver and gold. So, but we...
Skane says you stole something and it's in your back pocket.
Something in my back... Oh, the moonshine. It's not in the back pocket. It's in the cabinet. I told you, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it in a recipe. I've got an idea.
You stole her alcohol?
Well, no, she was leaving it out, and I'm like, oh, here, I'll take that one.
Was it for taking?
I mean, I thought it was. If she wants it back, I didn't do anything with it, so I don't know.
Well, it's here. It's here for safekeeping.
If you want it back, you can have it back. God knows I'm not going to sit down and drink it.
So Skanes, the backstory here is Skanes got, you call it a tip, a gift,
A gift.
got a gift from somebody, and it was 3 pint bottles of different.
3 or 4.
There was 3.
Like that.
There were 3 of them, but different types of moonshine, homemade moonshine, and
They were so strong they had to be dumbed down to 80%.
and I didn't taste any, but
You
apparently
could smell it from across the room.
they tasted really good. Oh, she says she doesn't want it.
Oh. Well, they quit complaining. Let me make a dessert with it.
Did we overindulge into their Skanes or did
No. They were so full.
Oh,
She was just sharing with everybody. Yeah, the only little bit was what they tasted 4th of July that was gone. So, and then Caleb tasted the one that I have, which I think is the caramel, right? Skanes, the one that it smells like tequila, and but a very smooth tequila, like the higher end dollar tequila, which is like I'm like, I can get some desserts I can do with that.
Tequila is nothing but agave moonshine.
I'm guessing that's I don't know if that's what he was going for because I don't know the person that made it, but yeah, no, I can think of a lot of stuff to make with that. I'm excited.
What are you gonna make with it?
I'm thinking like maybe you try some of the cannolis because of with the taste in it, and then which I haven't tasted it, but they say caramel.
No,
Right?
you use amaretto for cannolis. You don't go messing around with Grandma Rose's.
Ugh.
If you mess around with Grandma Rose's recipe, I'm gonna tell her.
All right.
Find something
maybe
else
some flan or something like that, or cheesecake. Oh, maybe
Cheesecake.
like-
Cheesecake.
Maybe like like the rum bread, maybe or the rum cake, maybe do like
Rum
that.
balls,
Oh yeah,
caramel moonshine balls.
moonshine balls. You put some chocolate
That
on
sounds
that.
kind of dirty.
That would actually be pretty good.
Chocolate moonshine balls. That sounds dirty.
Only you.
That
That actually.
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you
Yeah. No, it's just great visiting with everybody. I got to visit with Cindy and Adam, and then
I will say this: there were a lot of people
Jennifer.
that I didn't know there.
there were a lot more people this year than ever before. So it's growing. Eventually, it's going to get too big that we just won't go anymore.
I hope they got what they wanted out of it. I hope they got whatever.
All
they
the
wanted.
people that went.
And the people that organized it. I hope everybody got what.
Oh, I think everybody was pretty happy. So it all went over very well. Everybody's happy. Everybody enjoyed the fireworks and that kind of thing. So anything that messed up, nobody really noticed, and so it was no big deal. And we sang the music because some of the fireworks failed. They had to put Mario put different music on. And so you would have liked it. It was all music we used to listen to.
Dennis says rum balls and rum cake are underrated. Good for Christmas time. Angela made rum balls one time and I was drinking. I was still drinking at the time. And you eat 4 or 5 of those rum balls and you could feel it. They were good.
Time for nappy nap.
They were good.
All right, Skanes, let's try it. She's got an awesome liquor ball recipe. I say we try it. And I'm thinking like coated in sugar and that kind of thing. I think it would be good.
God, all I can think of.
Skanes, come over here. We'll do
All
that.
I can think of is the SNL skit where
We'll have to make sure that you're not working.
they're talking
the next
about
day.
sweaty balls. The guy makes sweaty. His name's Sweaty, and he makes.
Let me
balls.
take this to a different direction. Skanes, make sure you're not working the next day. A little for the chef and a little for the recipe.
Hello.
Hello.
Great. That's just what I need. That's just what I need. You two over here hitting moonshine and cooking,
Hello.
making a mess and getting drunk in the process.
Talking like Julie. Oh, that'd be fun. Alec Baldwin.
Yep, that skit. It's probably one of the few funny skits from that era of Saturday Night Live.
That's funny.
So
Yeah.
what else? Anything else at the get
Still
together?
haven't heard about my job. Should know something. They got really busy and swamped last week. Should hear something by this Friday, hopefully. They're wanting to have it wrapped up by Friday. So,
Hey, is there a full moon coming? That was part of the conversation because I didn't say anything, but we've been slammed the past 2 days.
you have.
Very abnormally slammed.
I mean, people are just freaking crazy right now. And I'm not quite sure why. So there's got to be a full moon coming or something. People are off their meds. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't know.
Chef's salty chocolate balls. I don't.
Oh,
From the way you're behaving, I don't think you've ever seen it.
I haven't.
Well, I'll pull it up.
It's-
I pull it up when we're done, so I'll show you. It's funny. It is a funny skit.
But so what did you say? Sweaty? It was salty.
His name is Schwetty.
His name is
Shwetty, and it's Chef's Schwetty salty chocolate balls.
Oh my god!
But they do it. It's a New England public access channel, and they're all playing it straight. There's no innuendo there, but they're playing it straight, and they're talking like they're on NPR.
Oh my God.
It's funny.
Anyway.
He says he's clearing an area for a possible underground storm shelter. Root cellar making a gravel pad to 2 shipping containers. I need my glasses to read the rest of that. With the roof and expanding the swells with the backhoe.
Nice.
Backhoe would be nice to have.
Yeah.
Or a Mini X. Either one of those would be nice. Still haven't got the swells made to catch all the water. That last rain we had, after 2. When was it? Wednesday we got the rain. Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
But we got about 6 inches overnight, and
Like the pond is full. Had we captured water, it would have.
oh yeah, it would have overflowed. Definitely, it would have definitely overflowed. Then we got some. They were getting rid of deer corn at one of the local farm and home places because it got wet and it had wheels in it, so they were writing it off because they couldn't sell it. And I took it down last night and dumped it, so we'll see. And that short I did yesterday morning about the doe and the fawn, I really wish I would have waited because they walked across the dam and that there was a perfect picture there of them. But then the chickens started cackling and they took off running.
Aw.
But then I saw this morning, it's a great year for wildlife around here. There were, when you're going up the road, it's right after you get past Chase's. There's that house on the side with the outside burner.
Yeah.
There were 3 hens and about 30 poults
Aw.
running. I had to actually stop because
Wow.
they just kept coming out of the grass.
Bugs. I'm telling you, road bugs.
Full moon's on July 29th.
Wow,
Oh,
makes
great.
sense. Makes sense. It's going to be a hellacious 2 weeks. Ugh.
That's my birthday.
It
Full
is.
moon on my birthday.
Are you going to grow hair and start howling?
No.
Okay.
You know I am about birthdays. They're not. We
Well,
have
it's also on a Wednesday.
we have birthday parties and they're for her.
They're really not there for him. He just doesn't appreciate them. And he doesn't appreciate me for going to the trouble and all of the work to make it happen. And you haven't had a birthday party since you were 30.
This is true,
So stop it.
and I don't need one now.
I think, well, first of all, I want to have the conspiracy theory party. So it was one of those things that it was just convenient that it was your birthday. And I did tell
See.
everybody not to bring gifts. So really, it's just a party. So do you want, and technically it's not on your birthday. So we can just call it the conspiracy theory
All
party.
right.
Are you better with that?
it's still a bunch of people
I
over my
won't
house.
get you. Well, either way, you agreed to do it. You thought
I
it would
know.
be fun too.
I know that was when I wasn't thinking clearly.
Yeah.
I must have been on a 60-hour fast and was a little loopy whenever we talked.
I think you were.
Whenever we talked about it.
That's funny.
You see, a couple of months ago, I got 3,000 pounds of chicken feed from Tractor Supply returned because it got wet. Composted it. Pod stayed really hot for at least a month.
Yeah.
Yep, that'll do that. These were hot. There were only 4 bags that I got. They had a whole pallet they were getting rid of, but I was like, yeah, I don't want to have to deal with the whole pallet of moldy corn.
And it did stink. When you moved those bags, I could smell the mold up on the porch. Now I'm allergic to it, so that's probably part of the problem. But yeah, no, there's no way I could have helped you with any of those bags. I'd have been sick.
It smelled like sour cornbread is what it smelled like.
That's not how I think it stinks. But
No, when I got the bags open, it did. It smelled like cornbread that sat in the refrigerator too long. Except it was warm. But I'll wait. I did it last night, and I'll go down there probably Thursday night and check it out and see how much traffic's been down there. There were some pretty good sized deer hooves or deer prints back there.
yeah,
So I know there's got to be at least one buck in the area. I haven't seen him, but there's got to be at least one.
Yeah.
So what else happened? Anything interesting? I got to tell you guys. So Lindsey Graham passed away. I'm sure you guys heard about that. He's only 71. So that's like 11 years older than I am. I thought he was way older because he was like McCain's little protege, I guess. Anyway, but 71 is not that terribly old. It's not that old. And I've got the same heart disease that he had. So I need to make sure that I'm taking really good care of myself.
well, and apparently, like somebody was talking about it tonight on the radio. They had the same thing, and you have to catch it immediately. And the only way that you'll survive that is if you don't pass out. If you pass out, you're dead.
Well, once your aorta rips, you bleed to death in about a minute and a half.
So you're dead. It feels like lightning. Like you'll know because it feels like lightning. And this guy was able to survive. He was able to get to the hospital within 15 minutes. They did an X-ray, and he went straight in.
Well, John Ritter, that's what he died from. He died on the operating table.
So the way I'm understanding Lindsey Graham the same way. So
No, he didn't even make it to the hospital.
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was. They found him at home.
Yeah, just you can't pass out.
Yeah, that I got to admit that kind of concerns me because I'm not too terribly far from that milestone, and just like, man,
You're not going anywhere. You're going to leave me miserable for the rest of my life.
it could be next week. Keep it up. Hey, what's up, Rank? Hope everything's going well down under. Did you guys hear about the South African soccer guy? 25 years old. They got eliminated. They headed back down to South Africa, and they were home for less than a week.
So sad.
And that I call him a kid. He's 25 years old. That's not a kid. That's a young man. He just kills over it. They never did say why, how he
Might have
died.
been a heart condition or
Well,
something.
in South Africa, it could have been crime too. So there's no telling. But kind of suspicious that they really never gave a cause of death.
You lost. You must die.
No, I don't think they did that. No, Iraq, they would have.
All in one day, she.
No, you probably had the cool shot.
The Coof. Oh, you know what? That's a possibility. If they were, it depends on what their country was mandating. That's absolutely a possibility because there's also been CDC put a lot out if you were going to these games and that kind of thing to make sure and be aware and have your COVID shot. Some possibility.
Some doctors' organization has been crunching the numbers, and for some reason, cancer rates are up. They don't know why.
Oh, give me a break.
They have no idea why, but apparently cancer rates are up in demographics that should not have higher cancer rates.
Could it be?
And
the
again,
poison that they put in our food.
I'm not. Look, if you're listening to this and you took the shot, I don't care. Quite honestly, I do not care. It's a personal decision. If you
Right.
decided to,
Right.
now I don't agree with it. I don't. Your reasoning. And I've only met one person who their reasoning.
Was stupid.
No. I'm talking about Mo. His reasoning.
His was good.
His reasoning was good.
Yeah.
Well, and then we had another friend. Had
It was blackmailed.
three young daughters, and he's the he's the breadwinner. His wife worked, but she wasn't working because of COOF, and so he made it so her and the kids didn't have to get the shot. He took the shot for his family, and there were a whole bunch of people out there like that. So
Yeah.
I understand. We were fortunate enough that we had put ourselves in a position where option was low.
We didn't want to do it. We didn't have to.
Yeah, that option was low on the option list, right? And that's about that. And if you want to think about it, that's what full spectrum preparedness is all about. The whole concept of full spectrum preparedness is giving yourself more margin so that you've got options, and the bad options don't rise to the top of the list really quick.
Oh, excuse this girl. She's betting on shots.
And then Rink knows people that were forced to take it. Yeah. Well, hang on. Rink,
He's in a different country. Baby.
Well, hold on. No, hold on. This applies. This is a universal thing I'm going to say here. Unless you were in prison and they held you down and forced the shot on you, you had a choice. Everybody had a choice. And that's what everybody needs to understand. Now, the choices that the three young girls and having to take care of them. Excuse me.
Oh, their military was forced. So they tried to do that in our military.
Hey, there's a video in our back catalog where I interviewed a guy that was kicked out of the Army. He was one of the ones that got kicked out.
And got page 11 for
no, not a page 11. He got it. He
13,
got a bad conduct.
Bad conduct.
Bad conduct
for they labeled him as a terrorist.
He was a threat.
Yeah.
They banned him from military installations.
Yeah.
Because which was really dumb because he was an MP and he was on patrol with a loaded weapon up to the very last day he was on active duty. But they said he was a threat to the military members and civilians on base.
Civilians.
That's it. But you know what? Those are all Obama and Biden officers.
So Garen was actually working for the military at the time that we decided he was working for DOD and military here. And so when he was doing that, that's one of the reasons we made the decision that we did and sold everything and moved, was because his doctor told him if he took the shot, it would kill him. Yeah. And so we were like, no, we're not doing that. So it was his life or a sweeter, cushier life, I guess. So, but we win because now our life is getting better.
And Dana, so yes, that is what you're saying is 100% true. But I still fall back on the idea that everybody had a choice, and saying that you didn't have a choice minimizes what they did, because what they actually did to a whole bunch of people was they made them compromise their values, and that was why I didn't take it.
And I have to say this too. 2 years later, after they forced all that garbage, 2 years later they came out and said, "Oh, we shouldn't have made you take it, and we're not going to make you take it anymore," because they realized it doesn't work. And so then they were like, well, and he was so mad. You were mad. Like, have you really ever gotten over that? I mean, he was pretty mad.
I was super pissed off for about 2 years. I'm still upset about it. But my brother is in the Army, and my brother, luckily, his commanding officer
didn't believe in it, and he didn't force it on any of them.
Right.
He's never had it. Oh, and ironically enough, they're pregnant
But
again.
he was on the tail end of all that. He joined the army on the tail end.
No, babe. They got married.
No, that's right.
They got married before COVID.
That's right. They did. He was.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, and they coerced people. I worked at a hospital for 17 and a half years. I knew a lot of people in the healthcare industry. And I had people that I knew for a very long time. I asked them, I said, why are you doing this? And they flat out said, because they will fire me if I don't. And unfortunately, I don't know if it's just they trusted the government too much down the road. I never trusted the government. In fact, I woke up for the last couple of years, I worked for DOD every morning going, I'm working for the beast.
See, Mississippi Homestead, the hospital I worked for at, gave exemptions. They were afraid to lose about 40% of their employees.
Yeah.
See, it's about us fighting back and standing back and saying no. And until we do that, you just got to decide, are you going to stand up and fight back?
And honestly, you can actually see the tone.
And this is kind of unfair. Let me say this too. This is a little unfair for rank. We can't hold that. Things are very different in Australia. So understand that. Australia is moving.
Well, they will throw. They threw people in jail.
Yeah, Australia is moving to the more communist side.
But still, you have a choice, and that's what I think that the people that hurt me the most were the ones that were all about freedom and all about sovereignty and liberty and all this stuff.
They were the first ones that spit in our face because we stood up and said no.
And well, they didn't spit in our face. Nobody spit in our face.
Well, not literally,
but they buckled under. They buckled under really quick. And the one good thing that came out of COVID is you got to see where people stood on it.
When our granddaughter was born, we were not allowed to see her or be there because we refused to take the shot and wear a mask.
Hey, Carrie, there's a country not heard from for a while.
Carrie, I was so excited. So this tiny house, I so wish it wasn't in Wisconsin. It's only 50,000, and it is a nice floor plan. I'll show it to you. She put it on Facebook, and it is a really nice floor plan, and would be super easy to move and do all of that. Probably get them down on price, but yeah, super cute and not a bad size. It would have been perfect for Skanes.
Would it?
Yeah, not that we're moving her here. It would be perfect if Dad and Linda, if they just wanted to travel everywhere and have one post.
It's in Montana, not Wisconsin.
Oh, Montana? Oh, well, still too far. Oh,
I wouldn't want to move out of Montana. Montana's gorgeous.
So it's only one bedroom. We'd have to add on for the kids. I mean, it's not terrible. I'll show you the floor plan.
I'm not moving to Montana.
Well, no, it's too cold. So there's that. Victoria Estro was really heavy on lockdowns. Yes, they were. And
that's where Homestead Oz.
Yeah, that's where Homestead Oz is at. And there were many conversations her and I had that there were times she was crying because she didn't know she was doing the wrong thing. And she thought, she was being pressured. They were being pressured to give up cattle. They were being pressured to move people onto their land. It's a century homestead, century farm. And they were being pressured a lot by the government. And, we'd have many conversations where we just walked through scripture and talked to each other and, reminder that, hey, this was in the Bible. God said, be prepared. You're not responsible for everybody. And so there's a lot. The Bible study and one of the books Garen's got coming out has a lot of that scripture in there.
I still think as a Christian that we should do something. We don't shut the gates and turn people away.
No, but you don't give up all your cattle and move a bunch of people onto your farm.
No. What they were trying to do to them was bad.
Terrible. And then knocks on your door at midnight, and you can't leave more than 3.5 kilometers, which, if anybody knows, is almost 5 miles, right? And so, yeah, no, it was terrible, awful. And you had to have letters, and there's, you have to be a farmer in order to have a gun in your vehicle, and you're only allowed one. And you have to be a construction worker in order to have a hammer. I mean, it was stupid stuff.
You're living in a more rural area, aren't you? I mean, there's large cities there, but it's kind of like Kansas, where there's some big cities, but there's a lot of country around it.
Yeah.
Less population, I guess.
Rink says he traveled everywhere. Yeah.
Less population.
Yeah, no, Victoria was terrible.
The ones that got me, the people that got me that I just really shake my head at are the ones that I was listening to a lady talk to somebody, and the reason why
it was in the bush.
her family got the shot was so that her daughter could play on a club volleyball team.
Yeah.
That just blows my mind.
Yeah. And so there's several people, like my parents, you couldn't go to Hawaii unless you couldn't get on a plane unless you had the COVID shot. And so, they took one round, and my dad says,
yeah, your dad said no more.
No more.
No more.
They're not going to do it anymore. And so they were like, it was ridiculous. But yeah, so we just kind of watch dad's symptoms. He's having a few issues,
right.
Not
take it easy, Skeins.
Directly linked to the heart as of yet. Mom's having some issues.
They're having issues. They're having issues because they're
yes, older. But they also took that, so we don't know what's what.
Yeah.
But so we're just watching things, and I'm a little concerned. So, but
Carrie just finished up her last batch of pure barbecue sauce.
Ooh, that is
so good. It is delicious.
Oh, you guys, order it. Are you selling it, Carrie? Where can they find it?
Carrie, are you a
Thunderhill Homestead?
Are you a moderator on our YouTube channel? If you are, go ahead and post your link in there.
I'm not sure if she is or not. We're gonna have to get some of that. You know that, right? Because that was really good. So yeah, so get that link, throw that in there. I know there's
Thunderhill Farm. Gemma. There it is. There it is.
Yeah. See, get that link and then put that in there.
You guys go check this link out. Go check this link out. This is Carrie's online store.
And Carrie and Glenn, everything is farm made. Like even down to their maple syrup. Glenn went up, tapped all the trees. I'm sure Carrie helped and a couple other people. They tapped all their trees, and the maple syrup is absolutely fabulous.
Everything she makes is delicious.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Like every time I see her, I'm like, "What you got, girl? What you got?" And we usually try to barter for stuff.
Is it?
And then we do collaborations.
Did we do the short?
What's Sammy eating? Blueberry.
Your blueberry sauce.
So he posted it, but I can't remember where he posted it.
Carrie, can you ship to Australia? Probably be real expensive shipping to Australia, though.
Food. I don't know if it would be accepted in the country.
Yeah,
She even has a section for collabs, so you'll probably find our cinnamon roll with the bacon wrapped sausage. So good. Oh, when I was going through the freezer to try to get food out. She's
got drink garnishes and boozy cherries.
Ooh, lot row.
No, I may have to have a drink.
Or just a cherry. Maybe order some cherries.
But there's still alcohol in it. It's the alcohol.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah.
Not that I'm not drinking. Not that I quit drinking. It's just I haven't.
Yes. Carrie does make that. Yeah. And so it was, I think what you're talking about is the bacon. Oh, Curie put it in
the
there.
bacon jam.
The bacon jam, yeah. And the beef jerky dip, yeah. Yeah. So Mississippi remembers. Everybody's like, yeah, let's go there. But yeah, so we'll have to do that.
We've still got some.
Man, Curie, you need to come in here and start talking about more stuff that you're making. We'll get you
We
pulled
still
up
got
and do
some
that.
unopened jars up in the cabinet.
Because Curie and I are supposed to start doing collaborations together. I got to get my work schedule together because we're going to start doing those cooking videos using her stuff and then promoting her business and ours. So we're going to get that together.
There you go. There's a business idea, Curie. If you can't ship to Australia,
smuggle it.
No, license it. License somebody down in Australia to be made down there.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah. I don't think Rink would be making it. I think it'd be Mrs. Rink.
That would be Mrs. Rink. Oh gosh.
Yes, you can. As far as I remember.
What's that?
The visiting the farm.
Yeah. They had some people up there not too long ago, and then I don't know if there's a fee in that, Curie. You can kind of put that in there.
Look, I'm going to say this. Anybody? No, okay. Let me preface this. I get people out extremely quickly, and we're not doing a business, so having people on the farm is not a business thing.
Well, we are doing a business.
But if I was running a business like that, and I wanted to go see a business like that, and they wouldn't let you at least come look at the farm a little bit,
right?
I would really question it. And there are homestead content creators out there that don't want people coming to their property.
Well, I'm telling you right now, like we get peopled out, and it's so funny because like especially when we go to festival and Curie and Glenn are there.
Dana.
There's nothing better than when you're peopled out to go sit with Curie and Glenn.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, so relaxing.
Glenn's like me. He gets people out really.
Yeah, but Curie's got good energy, positive vibes, constantly lifting you up, and don't be a vampire.
They've got the poofer.
And the poofer, they get everybody energized and that kind of thing. They're great people, and so we want to support them.
Glenn is like
no fee. Just forget the what?
No fee, just forgive the mess.
Oh, there you go.
See, Glenn is a Marine veteran, and like every Marine veteran, he's got a bit of tism. He's got a bit of tism going on. We all do. There's something I come to realize that every single Marine's got some manifestation of autism, and Glenn manifests in making stuff, and he made a big giant. I'm not going to call it a flamethrower. It's a poofer. And
so much has happened this year. House is moved. Will is in. Septic is next. Glenn is working his jarhead booty off. Excuse me. Yeah, that's funny. Well, good for you guys. Accomplishments, milestones. It's happening. This was a good year for all of us, I think. Everybody's getting ahead.
Yeah.
What was that?
A couple of times he's asked roadside vendors if they grew what they did, and he Googled the address, and there's no farm.
Right. We've got one of those that sells in Holton every once in a while, and she got caught like really, really bad. So
that's one thing we tried to do as much off the property when we were doing the freeze dried, and we were getting better. We started off with only about 10% off the property, and
we're getting better.
By the time we had the car accident, we were up to about 30 to 40% off the property.
And then slid backwards, but now we're moving forward. So it's nice that we're moving forward.
There's some cucumbers out there that might be ready to.
Oh, sweet! You ready to eat? Do I have to pickle them? Can I just eat them?
I was thinking
cucumber salad,
onion, tomato, and cucumbers.
Oh, so you
we don't have any tomato. We don't have any tomatoes that are ready though.
They're almost ready. So the cucumbers, I could maybe go ahead.
Thunderhawk.
Maybe go ahead and refrigerate those and see how long we can get those. But I do have some tomatoes up here in front that are big enough. They're just getting ready to ripen. So
I had a gorgeous cherry tomato plant out by the chicken coop, and I did something to it. I don't know what I did, but it's dying. The thing was 9 feet tall, and it had fruit all over it. And the heat came, and it just shriveled up. And it wasn't. I was watering it.
yeah,
The basil and the parsley in there is healthy as all get out.
yeah.
In fact, the basil's going to seed right now.
So I wonder if something is not like the two are not helping each other.
I don't know.
Probably ought to research that and see. I wouldn't pull it up. I wouldn't do anything
No, I'm
because
not.
it's also weather.
I put some of that 511 fish fertilizer on it.
You did water it down though, so it didn't burn it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that doesn't burn. It says right on the jug, doesn't burn. It's been cooked. It's cooked. But so we're about an hour. We're an hour into this. You want to?
Yeah. Can I jump out?
Yeah, you can jump out.
Hey, it was lovely seeing all of you guys. Curie, it was great catching up. Thunderhawk, great to see you. And yeah, Lynn, love you, bud. And everybody, you guys are great. Be at least 10% better tomorrow than you were
Don't
today.
pee on the plants. Yeah.
Don't pee on don't pee on your plants.
Pee on your compost pile though.
But yeah. All right, love y'all. See ya.
I met somebody that actually peed in jars, and then went out. They did the half gallon and the gallon jars, and they fill them up with pee, and then they take them out and dump them on their compost piles.
I'm just gonna let you right now know that would be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Do not pee in my jars.
I'm not peeing in jars.
My jars are for canning. All right, y'all.
Hey,
See that
Gregory
kind of
says good
stuff.
evening.
Oh, hey, Gregory. See ya. I'm just getting ready to get off. All right, but it's good seeing you. Hey, Susie. And so y'all do good. Be 10% better tomorrow than you were today. And
Frank's wife is going to Alabama without him.
oh,
Alabama.
she should come to Kansas. It'd be good to meet her.
What you get?
I wonder maybe she could get a layover.
It's
in Kansas City.
extremely hot and muggy in both places.
Yeah. So what's the difference?
I'd rather go to Alabama to the Gulf Coast. than
And
be
like,
in
if,
Kansas.
and if I knew she was coming, I'd finally get. So there's one ring that she hasn't seen that I need it. It was my mom's and a sapphire ring. I need to get it fixed. It snapped,
What are you talking
and
about?
so my ring. Well, his wife would love my jewelry. Frank
Oh.
always says, and so because she's a jewelry person like I am. So I got to get my necklace and my ring fixed. And so if I knew when she was coming, I just take that to the jewelry and have it her, and I could go through my jewelry box. All right, bye guys.
Frivolous. No. Hey, before I start bloviating about stuff, let me share something with you guys. Jace is having a sale through July through September, and you can get a Jace case for $250. And they've also got a discount on their Jace membership program. Let me bring this up. So the Jace membership, I didn't know a lot about this until they announced it. I'll be honest with you. But looking at it, for $250, you get a year-long membership, and the discounts you get are $15 or 15% off all Jace.com products. I'm sorry, 15% off, 50% off replenishment medication. So you buy your Jace case and you use the stuff out of it instead of paying full price for the replacement stuff. It's 50% off, and then you get free insurance on all your shipping. They also have the guidance you can call and talk to them about stuff, and they've also got the readiness rewards. Looking at it, the Jace Plus membership, I'm not gonna lie, it looks really good deal. Oh, there we go. I gotta get back up there. It looks like a really good deal for what you get. I'll be honest with you. So if you're looking for something like that, like I said, I use Jace for the 90-day supply of medications. And in all honesty, you're supposed to hold that 90-day supply in reserve in case something happens and the pharmacies aren't being filled up. Disaster happens or something like that. But I was just doing it. I was just doing it for my everyday stuff because it was 40% cheaper. Oh, Rink's got family. Rink's got family in Texas. There you go. Rink's probably been to Buc-ee's more times than I have because I've never been. And if he's been in Texas, chances are he's been to a Buc-ee's. Get off my foot, Freya. So there you go. There's my little push in one of the affiliates. Go check it out. We've got the link down in the description. If you buy something and you're not a member, they've also got a 15% coupon for everything. But you can use our link and use our coupon code to get money off too. Okay, with that said, he's got a cousin in New York City. That's an old commercial. Unless you probably don't remember that. So I was thinking to myself, what can I talk about to tie back into Sunday night? And Sunday, if you didn't watch the video from Sunday night, it was basically the upright citizen living the morals and the morals of their faith. Okay. And I started thinking about it, and there were quite a few news articles this week that just got me thinking. The trust in our society is just shot to hell, right? And why is it shot to hell? Well, it's shot to hell because people don't have any morals. They don't believe in a higher authority. They feel that they are the judge of what's right and wrong morally, or they're getting their virtues, their morals and ethics from the group, right? From the mob. And so we live in a low trust society, and it even if you live in a rural area in America, that's one of the things my buddy, when we lived over in Pleasant Hill, was an insurance guy, and he said he could always tell when the economy was taking a swing downwards because residential break-ins and thefts would spike in the rural areas, because he had a bunch of people with farm policies, equipment would be getting stolen. Hey, Jody, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Hope you're feeling good. But, he said, so living rural is a little bit of insulation, but it's not as insulating as what people think. Right. And that's why I said it earlier, I had almost $700 worth of building material out there sitting by the road for a little over 2 hours yesterday. And I was just anxious because, it would have been very easy for somebody to just walk up and get it. And so we talked about civic virtue last week or on Sunday. And it comes down to us governing ourselves. Everything that we talked about on Sunday points to the fact that a free society cannot exist unless people govern themselves. So, the question in my mind rises, what happens when we stop trusting each other? Where's the critical breaking point whenever citizens don't trust the other citizens? Farmer. Here, I got to put my glasses on so I can read this stuff. Farmers' houses get broken into because they have shotguns and guns, but there's no guns in the street. Yeah, there's guns there. It's just hard. It's harder to get them, and they're more regulated. but I'm not talking about when people don't trust the government and they don't trust politicians. It's what happens when we just don't trust, when everyone doesn't have any trust. Employers don't trust employees. That was one of my huge complaints as an IT security guy or as an IT guy, doing admin work. They security wise, I was treated just like a regular user, and I'm like, I can't do my job. So you either have to trust me to be honest, or you don't want me doing my job. You don't want us doing our job. And think about it. How many, Angela went through this today, as a matter of fact, with people not trusting businesses. Why are you doing business with a company that you don't trust? That's my thought. I know I don't do business with companies I don't trust. And then, like I said, the citizens don't trust the government. The government most definitely doesn't trust the citizens. If they did, we wouldn't be saddled with so many rules and regulations. And think about, if you've ever lived in a city or in the suburbs, you probably experienced this, not knowing your neighbors. And we're not close with our neighbors, but we've met them all, and we're acquaintances with them. But
our neighbors.
Do what?
We're close with some of our.
Yeah, some of our neighbors we're close with, but the just living in complete suspicion. Now, I'll be honest with you. Oh, hang on a second. Jody says Jody's on, by the way.
Oh, hey, Jody.
Angela says, hey, I live in a small town. Got responsibility church funds. Got responsible for church funds. Embezzled $150,000 from church. Ooh. Again, was she living? Does it sound like she was living the morals and ethos of her professed faith? And and I'm not saying that to be judgmental. I'm just making a point. And so I'm turning 60 this month, and some of you are the same age I am, older. I mean, statistically, most of you are within 10 to 15 years either way of me, if you're watching this channel. So you remember what it used to be like in the 80s, and I honestly think that we're going through a huge, monstrous shift in the culture right now, and most people don't even realize it. Yeah, they trusted her. Well, as the late great Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. And if you think about it, we didn't become a low trust society overnight. This happened very gradually, and think about this. Ask yourself this. Right now, you can see signs of a low trust society no matter where you look. You go into even in Topeka, which isn't a huge city. CVS has got stuff behind glass. You go to the grocery stores, and stuff is behind glass. You got to have a ID to get Sudafed, because I don't know if they do that out here, but on the Missouri side, you used to have an ID to get Sudafed because it's a precursor for methamphetamine. And think about some of the things that exist now in that respect that didn't exist back then. When it says I was born and raised in Detroit, the country's catching up where we were in the 80s. Trendsetters. I'm telling you, Detroit's been setting the trend. Yep, they do that. They do that all over the place. There's videos in Europe of them. If the truck stops, they're breaking or cutting the lock and getting in it. But think about everything that we see in our daily lives now that just simply didn't exist back when we were younger. Like I said, everything behind glass. There's places in Kansas City where the convenience stores are behind 3-inch thick bulletproof glass. Security cameras everywhere. We had to get one. We had to get cameras here. And it is porch piracy, people stealing stuff off of porches.
Or dogs.
We've never had, knock on wood, we've never had to deal with that, but we know people that have. The delivery, Amazon, it's not widespread, but they take pictures of the packages on the porch, and I guess they do that in high crime areas where they show you that the package has been delivered. But you see ring videos of Amazon people putting packages on the porch, taking the picture, and then grabbing the package and walking off right in front of a ring camera. So they're, crooks are stupid. And two-factor authentication. There's another one. That's one. And being an IT guy, that drives me nuts. I hate dealing with two-factor authentication. It's just
three-factor
is the bank. Angela says her bank is going to three-factor. That's just crazy. The scam warnings. We get scam warnings all the time. We had one of the tribes got hit just recently by a huge scam. The demand for body cameras, it kind of backfired on the BLM crew, but still, they demanded body cams because they didn't trust the law enforcement. Turns out that law enforcement and the people were saying that the statistics tell the truth, or the numbers tell a story. Turns out that they were right in the end, and they don't like that. So now they're trying to get rid of body cameras. Think about that. How many does anybody remember back in the 80s them checking for counterfeit bills? I don't remember it in the 80s. I remember it in the 90s and the 2000s.
Ladies.
But I don't remember it in the 80s. Let's see here. Lynn says, my first job as a pizza chain, bulletproof everything, sliding money and product through complicated things, again in the 80s. Yeah, in Thunderhawk, a handshake. A handshake used to mean something.
Handshake could get you a loan.
All right, Thunderhawk, take it easy. Oh yeah, I got my first loan at the age of 16 as a signature loan. My dad vouched for me. It was with the credit union, but still, I can't. I'm almost 60 years old. I can't get a signature loan. Jody says they always check bills $50 or higher. There, yeah.
20 here, 20 and higher here.
Not every place.
Most places.
Rink says bills always getting scanned here. Cash can't be tracked. Yeah, absolutely. But it's every single one of these things is because society doesn't trust each other as much as it used to. And then as an offshoot, as I was looking at this and compiling all this stuff, from a full spectrum preparedness perspective, what is trust? Or, and can you, just off the top of your head, what is trust?
Trust is being able to hand somebody your debit card when they're going to get lunch and get you lunch, and not steal your debit card number.
Okay, she said trust is being able to hand somebody your debit card to go get lunch and them not stealing it. Okay, that's a byproduct of trust. I actually looked this up. Trust can be defined as the confidence that another person will generally do what's right.
Yes.
That your fellow man will do the right thing.
Yes.
And from a full spectrum preparedness perspective, it's currency. Trust is currency. It reduces friction. I trust somebody, so I don't have to worry about them. And in these low trust society that's coming around, everything takes longer. I mean, how long does it take them to go unlock the cabinet to get your toothpaste out? Everything's more expensive because there's more overhead. Plus, stuff is being stolen, so they have to make up for that.
Walgreens has deodorant behind glass.
What Angela says, Walgreens has deodorant behind glass, and just like Lynn was talking about, things become more complicated. I mean, I remember going to Little Caesars and just walking in and opening the rack and grabbing a pizza and taking it to the counter, and it was hot and ready, and just being able to walk out the door with it. You can't do that now. And here's the part. Here's the part that hurts the most. And everything's more regulated. There are way more regulations and way more laws now than there were when things were different, when we trusted people more. And like I said before, freedom assumes that people will govern themselves. That if we're going to live in a free society, we have to assume that everybody's going to govern themselves. And when they don't, like I said, the rules multiply, regulations multiply. We've talked about that with our county executives. Oversight multiplies. You got people looking over your shoulder all the time. The government expands. The over the past 5 years, the budget of the county government has gone up 300%, something like that. The bureaucracy expands. That what they were talking the under Biden the what's the book called? What's the book of regulations that they follow? That they have to follow the ledger, the federal ledger, I think is what it's called. It has expanded by about 90% in the last 10 or 12 years, some ungodly number. I don't remember exactly how big it is. So the question arises from all this. We complain about the government growing. Is it because the politicians want more power, or is it because the citizenry increasingly requires somebody to referee every single disagreement? Now, I think part of it is the fact that some politicians want more power. We do know that one political party wants more power, and a subset of that political party wants even more power. The Marxist wing of the Democrat Party. But roll that thought over in your head for a minute. Is it because the politicians want the power, or is it because the citizens, they need it? They need the referee there because they're not self-governing. Think about that. Think about that for a little bit. And at the end of the day, everything costs more. Every regulation costs money. That was one of the things. I did not post it. I don't know if I posted it in the community page or not, but I found an article. There was a scholarly study that they did back in 2000. And they were looking at the cost of every single regulator. So the government or the bureaucracy makes regulations. They have to hire somebody to regulate that piece of whatever you want to call it. That it's not legislation, but that piece of the bureaucracy has to be regulated by somebody. And they figured out that for every regulator and every regulation that goes into effect costs about 136 private sector jobs because of increased costs. The cost of having the regulator, the cost of implementing the regulation, and the financial impact that regulation has in reduced productivity. And it was 2011 was when they did the final workup on this thing. They did the study in 2000, but they did an update in 2011, and they found that 138 people, 136 people were losing their job for every single regulator that the government hired. And then whenever you don't trust people, the Doge. Let's talk about Doge for a second. Doge was necessary. It was a necessary audit, and it's still going on. It's not getting a lot of press, but it's a very important thing, and it's a very important audit that happened. But that costs money. And if your employer has to do all these audits because it can't trust the employees, it's going to raise the price that your employer charges, and it's going to take money out of the budget for giving you a raise. Look at illegal immigration. Look at illegal immigration. Look at how much money that we're having to spend because they let illegal immigration run rampant for so long, and it does cost money. And the low trust. I don't know if you guys saw it today, but a couple of the Supreme Court justices went up in front of I think it was the Ways and Means Committee. It was one of the financial committees, but they were asking for $20 million so that they could get 6 more security guards per justice. Because they need them around the clock and all that stuff. But they're looking for more security. And that costs money. Insurance, our insurance costs a freaking arm and a leg now because the insurance company doesn't trust people. We got a letter. They came out and they looked at our property, and we got a letter because they identify stuff that they say needs to be done because it could potentially be a insurance claim. I have no plan on making a claim on any of these things that they said. But they want it done because they don't trust us. And the problem really becomes acute when the society has to spend enormous resources protecting itself from itself. I mean, let's face it, the biggest threats to American society right now are not external threats. They're not coming from Iran. They're not coming from Russia. They're not coming from China. They're coming from inside our own borders. And a lot of what we talk about here is institutional distrust. It's not a reaction at this point for me, and it's probably not a reaction for you either. I, by default, proactively distrust the institutions in our country. The academia, I preemptively distrust it. Government, I preemptively distrust it. I'm getting to the point now where I don't distrust a lot of places, but it doesn't surprise me when they do things that make it so that I'm like, I don't want to do business here. It doesn't shock me anymore. You can ask Angela. I used to be pretty forgiving with businesses because I understand people have bad days. Unlike Angela. Angela, anytime anybody did something wrong, Angela, it was the end of the world, and she went full Karen mode. You did.
Seriously?
Yes, you've done it to me multiple times. But I distrust these institutions just as par for the course, and but think about it. Background checks, consent, cameras, zero tolerance policies, all the stuff that the institutions do that show that they don't trust us.
In my career,
Uh-huh.
I have always had cameras and background checks. Always.
Well, but okay, Angela said in her career in real estate and banking, the how do I put this? There's a fiduciary responsibility there, and it makes sense to have those checks and balances there. It really does. So but the working at Dollar General, the stories that we've heard about working at Dollar General, the organization does not trust its employees.
But they also only pay their employees $8.50 to $10.50 an hour. So there's that.
And all these things that I said, the disclosures, mandatory disclosures, background checks, the cameras, zero tolerance. Yes, they could have legitimate reasons. All right, take it easy, Rank. But there's legitimate reasons for it. But at some point, it points to something deeper, something that becomes obvious is that we as the citizenry cannot be trusted, right? And it creates a vicious cycle. It low trust creates more rules. It creates more bureaucracy. It results in less personal responsibility. People, or I should say, it doesn't result in it. It is the outcome of less personal responsibility. It causes less interaction because people don't trust their neighbors. And it just repeats itself, and it builds and builds and builds. And think about how many times that cycle's been repeated between, say, the 1980s and now, and where it's taken us. You can literally see where it's taken us. So how do we break this? Okay. Lynn says, to sum up, we as a group are not governing ourselves, so government grows. Kind of exactly what the last 6 Sundays were about. Absolutely. Not kind of, it's exactly what the last 6 Sundays were about. I'm telling you, man, as I'm doing it, I learned so much about myself and about my beliefs over the last 6 weeks doing this.
And peers.
So, how do we break the cycle? There's the big one. This one, I went out and scoured the internet and did some looking at it and saw what people were writing about it. First off, social media. Here, just as the upright citizen asks themselves, is what I'm doing going to promote liberty, or is it going to harm liberty, harm the cause of liberty? We have to ask ourselves, does social media increase trust? It's going to sound weird coming from somebody who's got a YouTube channel talking to you. I don't think it does. It monetizes trust. Seriously, it does not increase it. It monetizes it. Seriously, because there are so many people that are out there solely to make a buck off the internet, and they want you to trust them. And that's a good thing. Good thing about the internet or the
That's
YouTube.
also on the opposite sector too.
Good thing about YouTube is you will eventually be found out. But think about it. That social media causes outrage to spread faster. Nuance completely disappears, especially when you're trying to post something in 148 characters or whatever the posting limits are, right? The anonymity. I've gotten to the point now to where if you say something negative and I go to your page and you don't have an active channel, I just delete your comment. Because if you're such a coward that you can't make videos and put it out there, and it's different. It's different with a lot of people in the chat, but still the anonymities, the trolls, they come in there anonymous. Echo chambers, man, the echo chamber effect. If you guys want to see toxicity in action, seriously, go find a website called Democrat Underground. It's a very, very Marxist leaning website, and it is a massive echo chamber to the point where they won't let people that disagree with them on. And then the YouTube rewards conflict because you get more clicks whenever you rage bait. And how does this all manifest? Public displays of bad behavior. It's common, and we see things. I watched a video today. These YouTube pranksters. Some guy up someplace, I think it was up in Wisconsin, as a matter of fact. Some poor DoorDash guy was getting food from a food court thing, and some prankster was following him around, sticking his phone in his face, and saying something really weird. And the guy was like, "Get away, get away!" And then he wouldn't, and he finally shot the guy. Just pulled a pistol out of his pocket, and shot the guy right in the guts. This guy went to court. The shooter was let off. They didn't even charge him because it was obviously self-defense. I mean, the guy was being a menace. But the guy that got shot came out of the courtroom laughing and goofing it up because he got clicks and he got monetized off of it. Okay, and here's another one. This is coming from me. Full disclosure, I use AI to help me do a lot of things because it is the equivalent of a personal assistant, the way I use it. Right, and it helps me with the long tedious task. But AI, how do we know the pictures are real? Did you guys see the picture that was released of Mitch McConnell sitting in the hospital bed with his wife sitting next to him? He's got a plaid shirt on and blue jeans, and he's holding a paper like proof of life type of picture because everybody was saying he was dead. That picture was not out for more than an hour, and there were already YouTube videos up deconstructing it and pointing out how it was AI generated. Now I don't know if it was AI generated or not.
I'm gonna guess it was.
But that built can we trust the pictures? AI is getting so good that we can't trust the pictures. And I can tell you right now, right in that book, there are programs, or not programs, there are AI things you can buy that will literally write an entire book for you. That's kind of scary. And it kind of detracts. It took me, gosh, I started working on the book before it was a year and a half before it was published, and I spent the last 6 months before it was published working on it 4 to 5 hours every single day. Well, not every day, but most days. I took a break on the weekend, but during the week I was getting up at like 5 o'clock and working on the book. I was working on it at night. I was working on it when I was at work. But you got AI that can write books now. And I guess where I'm trying to go with this is, the social media, the anonymity and all that stuff, and the AI generated stuff, that makes personal character much more valuable because to be able to evaluate somebody's personal character, you have to interact with them directly, right? You're not able to do this long distance. In fact, you're interacting with me long distance, but for a lot of you guys that people that have only they've only known me from this channel, we've built a pretty good relationship, I think. I mean, wouldn't you say that we built?
Well, we see some of them at festivals.
Yeah, and we've met people. Angela says we meet. But personal character starts to matter more.
And a lot of them we are related to. So.
There are a lot of AI channels. A couple are honest and interesting. Most of them are painful to watch. Yes, extremely painful. And I played around with it. I used the voice recording and stuff just because I wanted some difference. But yeah, you can't make a good channel without good human interaction. And from a Christian perspective, it's truthfulness. That's one of the things. If you go through, I'm not going to mention any names here on the live, but if you look at the Homestead YouTube community, the creator community, there's a lot of people out there that are not truthful about their homesteads, and it has come back to bite them over and over, like multiple people over and over. And then you want to speak honestly, because I told you, man, the YouTube finds out. YouTube will find out if I sit up here and I lie to you, you guys will find out that I'm not telling the truth at some point, and then it destroys my character, and then being faithful, standing by your morals and ethics, and this is the one I have a hard time with. You can ask Angela. Loving your neighbor. There are people within our community that I don't even want to interact with, and it's hard it's hard to separate my dislike for them from my Christian values. Seriously, I'm this is one of these things I'm really struggling with now that the last 6 weeks made me think about. And I guess if you want to start building this from the ground up, become a servant. Figure out a way to serve somebody, help somebody. Whether it's going in, they just created a outreach labor group that I'm part of, and I haven't been able to go help with anything yet because they're either doing it during the week or it's been raining on the weekend, so we couldn't do any work.
The important part there
Huh.
is to be a servant, not to command what needs to be done from others.
Angela said the important part is to be a servant and not to demand stuff from others. You can find that all throughout. This stuff is all throughout the scriptures, right? And I don't need to hash it out here. I'm not a theologian. I gotta have it in front of me if I'm going to talk about it. And then, so how does this affect us constitutionally? The founding of the country. If you read what the founding fathers said, they assumed that we lived in a high trust culture, and they did back then, and it wasn't perfect, but it was sufficiently moral that the government didn't have to step in at every single turn. What was the quote? The John Adams quote. He popped up a lot in the study, but he wasn't saying that people had to be religious. What he was saying was that constitutional liberty assumes that we possessed enough virtue that the government doesn't have to supervise every aspect of our life. Okay, what's this one? Secrets of the millionaire mind. The fastest way to wealth is to help people. The more you help, the more you make. Absolutely. And that's one of the. Listen, I am not a big one on manifestation. Seriously, the idea of that a lot of Christian churches espouse and a lot of Christian people espouse is manifestation of good things for ourselves. I do not believe in that, but I seriously believe what Lynn just there is something behind what Lynn said, because in my life, just me personally, the more I open myself up to being a servant to other people, the more I get back. And I know it's not a manifestation. It's not a payment by God, but what he's doing is it conditions my character to the point where it's reciprocal. It becomes a very reciprocal thing, right? And it's really weird how it works, man. I'm telling you. And I don't think I'm manifesting anything. I don't go into this stuff. It's one of the things I'm very, very cautious about. I do not go into these things where I'm helping people, just trying to make myself look good or feel good, because that's the wrong way to do it. And a lot of us, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever thought to yourself, how come we don't trust each other anymore? Put a 1 in there, because I know I have. That used to be one of the questions I asked. Is like, God, why do people have to be like this? Instead of doing that, think about this. Every time you point a finger at somebody, you got 3 of them pointing right back at you. So maybe the question isn't how come everybody else is like this. Maybe the question should be, what kind of person am I, or what am I? No. More importantly than that, not what kind of person am I. What kind of person am I becoming? Because you can, through this whole thing, you can become. I think Lynn put something in there about being cynical. You can become more cynical, or you can become. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not cynical. The opposite of cynical. I'm not saying a Polly two shoes, a goody two shoes type of person, but you can you can choose to become a better person in that respect, and that doesn't mean throwing trust and caution to the wind, but it means doing the things that develop a higher trust society. Ask yourself, am I trustworthy? Am I honest? Am I dependable? Am I fair? Do I take responsibility? Am I willing to admit to my mistakes? Are you tactful? Hey, here's a little side note on this. All the stuff I'm talking about, each one of these characteristics I'm talking about, is one of the 14 uh, Marine Corps leadership traits. And I told you I was going to do a video on that, and I wasn't. I hadn't planned on how to do it yet, but I'm definitely going to do one now, because everything I'm saying right here is exactly what the Marine Corps looks for in leaders, for how leaders behave. And like I said on Sunday night, we need to become leaders. So here's some questions. I threw all these ideas into AI and the Chat GTP, and I said, what questions can I ask the people regarding this? And it actually came up with some pretty good ones. I asked this one earlier. When did you first notice that things became less trusting? According to Lynn, it was back in the 80s. And I'm not going to lie, I was kind of cynical, or not cynical. I was kind of naive at 17, 18 years old whenever I struck out on my own. I started noticing it when I went on security forces. That's when I really got to the point where I started looking at people, expecting them to do things wrong or do things bad. And to be fair, it was my job. I was supposed to look like that. I was supposed to look at people like that. And you do your training properly, and it just becomes part of you. And you can ask Angela. I'm not very trusting, am I? Yeah,
Anybody that knows you trust you.
the people that I know closely, I trust. Everybody else is at arm's length until they can earn my trust.
But Lord, don't let them screw up.
Yeah, she gets mad at me because if you destroy my trust, we're done. I don't want anything to do with you, because you burn me. You burn me once, that's my fault. You burn me once, that's your fault. You burn me twice, it's my fault. I don't want it to be my fault. In light of everything that we've talked about, here's another question for you. If things keep going the way they are, and trust continues to erode the way it is, can liberty in this country survive? Can it survive? I think we all know the answer to that. Let's see. It says, deliver more value than the money you receive. It works on every level, as long as it's a two-way thing. Absolutely. As long as everybody feels they got a good deal out of it, you're on the winning side. The human character hasn't changed much ever. The Ten Commandments weren't delivered to angels. Absolutely. And I've said it before, the reason why they hit so hard is because they are universal truths. And you don't have to be a Christian to comprehend the benefit of following them in some shape or form. Let's see here. Here's a big one. What role do families play in creating trustworthy citizens? I think it's very. I think a non-dysfunctional family is very important. And that's one of the things. We've got problems with our kids. Our kids have had problems.
Just like our son says, everybody's got stuff.
Yeah, everybody's got stuff. But I will say this: I said both of our children are very good employees. They're good parents. They love their children. Now, we don't agree with the way they raise the kids sometimes, but they are loving parents. So I think in that respect, we did a pretty darn good job with them.
Now, in fairness,
Yeah.
our son is doing that silly.
Let's see. One more of these questions. Oh, here's one. Here's a good one. Can the government create trust in the citizenry? Can the government regulate people's character to the point where they trust each other?
No.
Can that happen? Angela's not even letting you type. She's just saying nope. You know, and I agree. Some of these questions are kind of rhetorical. I admit it, but it's these are important. I probably ought to just put all these questions out on a community post and say, hey, you guys, ask yourselves these questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna trouble. Do that.
I'm gonna put that out there. Well, there's some scripture questions in there and all that. Maybe break it out into there's 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 12 questions. Break it out one post per question. Maybe I'll do that if I'm bored. So here's the challenge. I decided I'm going to try to finish every one of these with a challenge because it's easy for me to black pill people, but we need to throw something out there as a challenge to white people or white pill people, right? I know, Freudian slip. Angela's laughing at me because of what I just said. Here's the deal. We can't rebuild this in a week. This is a it took multi generations to get here. It's going to take multi generations, but it starts with each one of us, right? Don't make promises you can't keep, right? It's one of the reasons that's one of my failings as a husband was there's times I've been to the point where I just did not want to argue, and I was like I said sure just because I didn't want to argue, but it comes back and it bites you in the ass. It really does. The second thing, admit when you're wrong. Take responsibility for it. Honor your commitments. Don't make commitments that you can't follow through on. Treat everybody fairly. That this goes back to the very first one, the very first session. We're all created in the image of God, so we need to treat people that way, right? And it's hard. I posted something on Discord. Some of you that aren't, if you're on the Discords that I'm on, may have seen it. But I've been having a conversation with Jesus, trying to convince him that communists aren't people, and so therefore it's okay to throw them out of helicopters, and it's not working out well. I'm going to be honest with you; it is not working out well. He always is able to say no. That's not a good course of action.
In fact, you asked me, and I said, "How's that working out for you?"
Yeah, it's not working out for me very well. Trying to make that argument, but be the kind of neighbor that makes the community stronger. Don't be the neighbor that lets their dogs run free. Don't be the neighbor that steals the top of your Jeep. Don't be the type of neighbor that has a meth house.
Right.
Although that was entertaining. The meth house was entertaining. There was some entertainment there. The day that the guy came out of the house, jumped in the car, and then was she his wife?
Yeah.
His wife comes out and literally jumps off the porch onto the hood of the car like it was in the movies. And he whips out and he does a J-turn in the middle of the street and flings her off the top of the car. That was entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. That was worth the price of admission that day. Yes. But liberty and freedom doesn't begin in Washington. It begins with ordinary people like us being trustworthy so that we don't need as many locks. Don't need somebody to referee every single problem. It's one of the reasons why I didn't go down and talk to the neighbors whenever their dogs killed the animals, is because I knew how they were going to behave. I had dealt with them before, and I knew how they were going to behave, and I'm not sure I would have been able to walk away that day. Let's just put it that way. All right. When we're doing this, I know I'm going to wrap it up here shortly. when we're doing this, remember, just because we're pushing back doesn't mean that we're, how do I want to put that? It's okay to push back. It is okay to push back. It is okay to do these things. It is okay to expect more from other people.
Don't become a raider. Don't. Everybody's not going to be on the same page in
Right.
the travel adventure.
Right. Okay, guys, look, I went long on this one. I apologize. I didn't realize it's almost 10 o'clock. But this was, I think, this one kind of wrapped up the entire 6-week sessions, or the 6-week thing that we did. So, you guys listen. As always, you want to help the channel, help yourself, go down affiliate links. Remember, Jace Case, $250. Jace Plus membership is like 40% off. It's $250 for a year. Go check out the link for City Survival. City Survival 101, the Full Spectrum Urban Preparedness Guide, Amazon link down below. Most importantly, guys, go out and live life free. Take care.
Do you ever think about living in a world where we don't have access to modern medicine anymore?
Infections just aren't going to heal themselves. They're just not going to magically get fixed.
These medications will become life-saving for you and the people you care about. It's all done online through the Jace Medical portal.
This kit right here, it's called the Jace Case.
Jace Medical, they can supply you with emergency antibiotics.
If somebody gets really sick, that might be the only thing that can save their life.
And it's full of the top 5 antibiotics that we would need in an emergency situation.
It's an actual doctor that's prescribing you to this. It can be tailored for you specifically.
Getting our Jace Case was super simple. We just went on their website, filled out a short form. It was reviewed by a board-certified physician, and then he wrote the prescription and mailed this to us from a real pharmacy.
This is a great addition to your medical kit.